Hello there, Virgo, and welcome to your monthly forecast. This is for the month of September. Hard to believe we're nearly at the last quarter of the year, but we are. And I'm excited to see what's coming through for you, especially because of that, because this gives you a chance to make the most out of those last 3 or 4 months. Now, with all of that being said, just a reminder, you can always use these monthly forecasts for your sun, your rising, and for your moon sign if you know all three. I'd like to begin with a little bit of gratitude. I've been doing this since 2013 and really appreciate all of the support that you guys have been giving me, and I can't believe how much the channel has grown, so thank you. I want to give special thanks to everyone who over the past few months have been great about joining me on Patreon or through my website and donating $1 or more. Everything you see here is viewer supported, so when you guys give back, it gives me more time and energy to produce videos, and so I look forward to doing that. I still have some goals to meet when it comes to that, so if you'd like to support me, I'm putting some information here at the bottom of the video, and also right beneath the video above the comments, the second link will take you to either Patreon or the donation site. All right, with all of that being said, let's get into the interesting stuff here, which is what came through for this month. I start every video off with channeled information. And the way that I arrive at that is after selecting a deck of cards for each sign, I meditate and I see what comes through. When I did that for you, I had a visual of a sort of either a wick or some sort of a filament kind of burning too fast, too quickly. And what I got from that is that many of you may not be practicing a lot of self-care this month. And what I wrote down was it's vital to not just find, but to make time to recharge. Doing so will not only prevent you from running on empty and possibly kind of getting sick, but it will open up your ability to be more attentive and to see things, to seize opportunities. Because I do believe that there's going to be some things that come through this month that are going to require extra energy and extra attention. The more awake you are and the more energy you can put into these new opportunities, the more successful you'll be, the happier you'll be, the more fulfilled you'll be. So it's vital, and I underlined the word vital as I was channeling this. It's vital that you find and make time to recharge. So please do that this month. And as we look at the cards next, we're going to see maybe how that will factor into everything that's going on. And without any further delay, let's go ahead and take a look at the Celtic Cross for this month. Now, as you know, after I do the channeled information, I pull a cross here to see what's coming through. I also expand the forecast after this to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. I'm going to be quiet at this point because I just want to observe the cards and what information comes through, but I'll join you again as soon as I've laid out the spread here. In addition to the regular Celtic Cross, I use an extra card. I call this the Catalyst. The Catalyst shows how to maximize and neutralize key elements of the month. It also shows a connective thread between everything that we see here. All right, let's take a look at what's coming through here for you. We have completion. The card was reversed. When I look at this, I very much get the vibe here of what a normal judgment card would be like. There's a sense of death. There's a sense of rebirth, there's a sense of letting go. And that really is what completion is. A lot of times in our life, whether it's completion of a task or at the end of days, our completion of our life, we get a chance to sort of reflect, celebrate the success, and then also there's this sort of poignant and sometimes contradictory force where it's like, but that felt comfortable, whatever I was doing, I have to let go of it. And so for some of you, what this card is implying for you is that this is the time to release something, to finish it if you've been kind of hanging on, and then to sort of make your peace with what you've done and decide what's next. Because after death, there's always rebirth or growth. And so what you're sort of sowing the seeds for this month is the next phase, letting go and then opening up this portal or this fertile ground for new growth and new opportunity. Now with that lens in place, as we look at the cards, we'll get a lot more information, but I wanted to turn it down for just a second to show that the central card is really speaking to beginnings. It's the 0 card, the Fool, a reset. And it's a reset after some tricky things have been going on. So let me go card by card. At the end, I'll pull the camera down again so you can see everything. But let's begin. As I said, whenever I see the Fool, it's actually one of my favorite cards because it shows that there's a feeling of relief and release that is hopefully coming through for many of you. If not at the beginning, then perhaps by the end of the month. There is a need, though, for you to take a leap of faith, to take a risk, to take a chance. That's always one element of the Fool. This may involve a move or going out or stretching out and doing something that either is outside of your normal comfort zone or is just going to require a little bit more faith on your part. So allow that to be sort of a guiding force. See how you feel about that. For some of you, trust is going to be difficult. With the 7 of Swords here, crossing that or tempering that card, this is sometimes about cutting your losses, leaving something behind because it's not worth putting more energy into it. So in a relationship, this can happen when you realize that it's sort of a losing battle, or that the other person has already resigned or resolved themselves to do something else. So at that point, it's better to just move on. Or if there's an argument, if you've said everything you've said and the person is still sort of belligerent or closed off, then you think, this isn't worth my energy. So that's the big sort of message there, is to be smart about energy management, resource management, even though it's swords. Because when you decide to sort of trade barbs with someone, or when you're putting a lot of energy or effort into something, which can happen with swords here, it does boil down to resource and opportunity. Walking away, releasing, letting go, seeing something as complete, when we look at the near future, opens up opportunity. So that's the general message at the center. As I look at deep past, I'm happy to see the Hanged Man in reverse. This is showing that many of you have gotten to the point where you don't want to be stuck anymore, or you're ready to create some momentum. This can be a plateau card. So sometimes what the Hanged Man can show is it's not that your life is bad or that something's happening and you feel stuck. It's just that maybe there's been this period where there hasn't been significant movement. A plateau, a sort of frozen period where you're doing the same thing, but there isn't sort of growth or shifting. And for some of you, this could be for fear of facing a change or an opportunity, which can bring up feelings of uncertainty. And so what you want to do is a little bit of soul searching and see what maybe caused the plateau for some of you. Now, in a completely different sort of shift here, I want to pull this into relationships, because I'm seeing several cards here that are telling me a story. You see the crowning card is the Devil. For me, the Devil's less about this creature in the background, and it's more about being stuck or what's coming between two people. When I see the Moon card, what this is about is secrets, lies, things that come out, hidden truths. And this card is showing that what has to happen right now is sort of a coming out or an enlightening moment. And this is going to release the shackle that we see here at the bottom of the card. What this is going to do for many of you is allow for healing in a relationship. When I look at what kind of healing might happen, it could be a release of an addiction, of a habit, or again, something that needs to come to light. Maybe the secret or the sort of truth that someone was hiding was about health or about something that they were just afraid of. And by revealing it to you, you're able to lend assistance or see them for what they are or value them more because they've been dealing with something difficult. I will say this is probably not the best month for you to enter into a brand new relationship. Whenever the Devil is in the crowning position, this shows that you want to take your time and understand what the sort of caveat is. There's something that is kind of beneath the surface that needs to come out, so don't rush things. It's not saying that things won't work out, it's just that you want to take your time. Now, pulling it away from relationships, now looking at money and resources. Again, we'll expand the forecast, but I'm actually getting a little smattering of everything as I'm looking at these cards. Some of you may decide to move to a new job this month. And I think this is a good thing. This is in your near future, especially for those of you where these two cards are indicating a feeling of being stuck, a feeling of not being appreciated, of not being able to maybe break through a glass ceiling, it would be a good thing to then make this kind of move in your life. There may be a physical move involved with it since we had the Fool at the center, so you'll have to sort of balance that out and see if it makes sense for you. One of the things you want to be careful of this month is not to shut people out and not to be too quick to make a decision here. The King of Wands can sometimes be a little bossy, a little stubborn, either sort of insecure or unable to allow other people to provide alternate points of view. So if it's you, this month you just want to stay as open as possible and don't internalize things. If people give you some constructive criticism, see that as a positive and try to do something with it. And you don't have to agree with it. You can just say, I hear what you're saying, I'll think about it. That means a lot to people. You don't have to say that you're right or I'm wrong or this or whatever. It's basically just, I absolutely am hearing what you're saying. Let's look into this. We'll talk about it. That shows an openness. That shows a neutrality, which is better than immediately jumping to, yeah, you're right, or no, you're wrong. Let's look at this is a lot more in the center and it's a lot more balanced. And I think that's really where you want to sit this month for maximum success. Do your research. As I look in the environment card, I think that it's really important to listen to. This is also about taking time to yourself. When I was saying it's vital to find and make time to recharge, meditation is going to be very, very important to your success and just your general health this month. So I don't always advocate for the hermit, but this month I think it's very important for you to pull back a little bit. And if you're feeling either a little bit drained or frustrated or feeling like people just aren't hearing you, take some time and reflect and think, is it me? Is it them? Do I just need some sleep? There's a lot of factors that might actually be weighing in on that. Now, when I'm looking at opportunities this month, and for some of you what could be causing a sense of tension, it's a little bit of both, but relationships overall are going to be the biggest pressure point for many of you. And this could be coworkers, it could be a love interest, it could be family, but this is where most of your energy is going to be spent. The good news is I see that this is a chance to bury the hatchet. It's a chance to either walk away or to reconcile or to have reconciliation, I should say. So finding a way to let go or to move on or to acknowledge something. So relationships should be better for whatever you decide to do, whether it's letting go or healing and forgiving. As we look at the outcome for you, the main message is think before you speak. Don't say something that could end up kind of resulting in a 10 of swords instead of the 5 of swords. And so sometimes when words come out of our mouths, they have a way of kind of like sticking and going too deep. And I really want you to weigh all of your words and actions this month and know that it's much easier to take this time out, which is what's coming through in the environment, than to try to apologize or take back words. So weigh everything out and use your words and your actions really carefully this month. I think that if you rest and if you think and meditate, you're going to be able to avoid any of these sort of issues that we see. What is the big sort of picture here that I'm seeing before we expand the forecast? It's this new opportunity on the horizon. What's the big distraction? People in your life. So I want you to stay focused on what your goal is. Don't let a petty disagreement, a relationship issue, either at home or even at work, pull you off of this big path for something new and something really, really fulfilling in your life, because it's not worth it. I think that's kind of what I'm seeing. And health-wise this month, the only thing that I'm sensing is a lot of sitting. So the Fool card at the center is really saying, get out and walk. We'll see if this also shows up when I look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. So let's take a look now at your health card. Health includes mind, body, and spirit. Let's see what the message is about this month. So we have source. I see source as a couple things. First of all, when we're looking at energy in your body, I associate this with the solar plexus chakra. And so for those of you that don't know, that would be like right there, right above your belly button, or around your belly button. I want you to focus on working on that part of your body when it comes to exercise. So crunches, sit-ups, yogic breath, the breath of fire is really good. And then in your meditation, you can use crystals that really call in the energy of that chakra as well. I think this is an orange calcite. So do some research on that. That's the area that you really want to focus on. And then the other piece of this that I'm seeing is that this has to do with when we were talking about recharging. This is about, for some of you, the way to recharge would be to get outside. I look at this and it's about solar energy, not just your solar plexus, but so take some time to get outside, to get your vitamin D, I think, vitamin D, and really just allow the sun to be a healing energy for you, because it is a source that we can use to sort of plug in when we're feeling depleted. You don't want to overexpose yourself, obviously, to the sunlight, but getting outside for 10, 15, 20 minutes and just walking around and enjoying the sun, exactly what we're seeing in this card. It's going to help change your perspective, change your mind, help with the endorphins as well. And then if you combine that with energy that also focuses on your solar plexus, then your source energy is going to be improved for the month. Let's move along now to your wealth message. Wealth is all things considering, or I should say concerning, your money, your self-worth, and your attitude towards opportunities and also the money in your life. Your message this month for wealth is focusing on the fact that there's a big opportunity on the horizon. So for me, this is the Wheel of Fortune card reimagined. What I like about this is it shows that money, success, opportunity, it doesn't happen overnight. And a lot of times you're going to find yourself sort of fumbling around and wondering, am I on the right path? With this card, and it's a message I've seen time and again this month, don't be afraid to ask for some help, to see if someone can help you find insight where you may not have it, or a shortcut if you've been taking something the long way to get something done. But ultimately what I see is that success is within reach for many of you, and you need to just ask for help. And you even see that in the Ace of Pentacles card. There's a helping hand there. So don't be afraid to reach out, don't be afraid to ask for help, and have faith that you're on the right path. If you feel like you're not, this is a chance for you to change and course correct. And when we look at destiny, there may be an additional message there, so we'll see. Let's go ahead now and move along to love. For me, love is a combination of not just your relationships, like your intimate relationships, but all relationships overall. And I see love as the currency of the universe. It's the one thing you can take with you. It's the one thing that can neutralize negativity. And this month we have Hypnose. The card was reversed, which actually tells me it's the reverse of what we're seeing here, which is to wake up, or to awaken your sense of love. And what I think that some of you may have been doing when we're looking at the upright version of Hypnose here is this feeling of keeping to yourself. And I see the Hermit here, and the Hermit is right underneath the Two of Cups. So the other thing that's coming out with this is that for those of you that have been keeping your possibly love life secret, this could be for a number of reasons. We have the Devil card at the top. This could be because there was an affair going on. This could be because for those of you that might be trying to come out, people are not supporting you, whether it's in an affair or because maybe it's an LGBTQ relationship, or maybe it's just you're loving someone and people can't accept the type of person they are, whatever it is. This card is saying, step out, come into the light, and be who you are, and don't be afraid to do that. The other piece of this is, if for some reason you've simply kind of not been putting energy into the relationship part of your life, at least, at the very least, practice some self-love, taking care of yourself. We talked about that, nurturing yourself. That could be through a massage, through just eating and sleeping correctly, or making time for new relationships, because that really is the opportunity this month, is to utilize this to open up, whether it's an opportunity or just feeling love in your heart. It's time to awaken. There's a line from Dune, the sleeper has awakened. And that's kind of what this card is telling me, is it's time for you to really become your true self and embrace that. Let's go ahead now and look at destiny. And I mentioned that there may be some messages here regarding fortune and other things. So let's just see what your Destiny card has to say. Destiny is very much malleable in the way that I read it. It's kind of a look at the month and also kind of where you're headed for the rest of the year. If you like it, stick with it. If you don't, change. All right, so for this one we have, it's a gateway card here, and it was a reversal as well, which shows me that there's a need for some of you to change direction or to move into something new, and that's precisely what we saw at the center. Movement, change, shifting. And the reason that these two cards are reversed is this is showing the plateau. This is showing, again, the end of that plateau, the need to walk through the gateway and to allow for new growth, new opportunity. Whether it's your career or your love, something new is going to blossom this month. We have a lot of cards here, the ace here, and even the source card reminds me of the ace card. And I think that new things are going to happen for you that, for some of you, because that was the source of power, you're going to get a better sense of yourself this month. And a boost in the ego when it comes to self-worth is not necessarily a bad thing. We all need to love, respect, and honor ourselves, and I think that's one big thing that may happen for many of you this month. So let's go ahead quickly and review everything that I talked about, beginning with the channeled information. You saw it when I quickly pulled up the card here. It's vital for you to find and make time to recharge this month. I don't want you running on empty, and I don't want you to miss one of these opportunities that are going to come through for you. Because when I look at the near future, that's what the ace is showing. Something new, a big option or a big opportunity, and you have to be awake, aware, and ready. The catalyst was reminding you that the overall purpose of the month is to arrive at some sense of a satisfactory conclusion or completion, and to honor the fact that with that comes a sense of death and rebirth. And it makes perfect sense that we have what I would kind of put a judgment card on. I think that completion is very much like judgment, and I think this is very much like death or rebirth. And so we're getting kind of like reimagined versions of those two tarot cards here, which makes sense since your crowning card is, this is a big catalyst in and of itself. You have to react when you see the Devil, the Tower, the Ten of Swords, Death, Judgment. All of these cards push you, the world, but the Devil is saying time to free yourself, time to let go of something. So again, take a risk, take a leap of faith, liberate yourself from whatever this contracting or restricting force is in your life. Overcome your emotional fears. Feel that sense of liberation and freedom as you move past your plateau. Step away from something if the people or situation is unable to support you. Embrace the opportunity. Keep an open mind. Stay as, I think for you, research is going to be helpful. And for some of you, if you can't keep an open mind, retract and spend some time just to recharge so that when you do decide to have a face-to-face, you don't say something you regret. You're able to act in a sort of diplomatic way, which is going to be very, very important. The extended forecast reminds you of the importance of taking care of yourself, knowing that there's an absolute parity between your source energy and the ability to take advantage of an opportunity coming towards you. A reminder that you're on the right track, and if you don't feel that you are, ask for some help. Know that success doesn't happen overnight. It's time to wake up when it comes to love and relationships. It's time to come out and be honest and be transparent as well. There is a big opportunity at the end of the month that's opening up. There's big sort of growth within you as well, and that's really what the whole purpose this month is walking through that stargate or that gateway. Once you do that, you're alive, you're awake, you're invigorated, and this card has come true. Completion, an end, a beginning. So that brings this monthly reading to a close. I hope that it gave you the insight, the confidence, and hopefully the security to move through this month. The reason I show up every month is really to help raise your frequency, your awareness, and to create a dialogue here about spirituality. I hope that I did that for you. If you ever want to talk a little bit about something going on in your life, you can book an appointment with me. The first link shows rates and availability. I mentioned at the beginning that I'm here not just because of you, but also as a result of your support. So if you like what you see and you'd like to see more of it, $1 is all I ask, and you can do that on a recurring basis by going to Patreon. It's super easy, so you can check out the link below. It's the second link. The third thing that I'd love to encourage is community and to stay involved and in touch. So please feel free to join me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, my newsletter, and also here on YouTube. And you can look at all of those links and anything that I forgot to mention on the third link. Finally, most importantly, getting back to what I said earlier, I'm really here to help you grow. This month, there's a subtle push for you to let go and move on. And we keep seeing these themes of death and rebirth. There's a lot of solar energy coming through for many of you this month, which is showing this sense of growth and moving into a place of confidence. So I really want you to embrace that. I don't want you to walk down the path of saying something and regretting it. Really embrace love, however that works out for you, whether it's simply acting in a way where you respect yourself and you respect others, or you're welcoming more love and abundance into your heart. You're going to win either way. Wishing you much love, light, and happiness now and always. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your growth, and I really appreciate you. Take care. I'll see you soon.